Good morning, guys. We are back out here working on the boat. My awesome buddy Jack has come by to basically show me how to properly get these stringers all mounted into the floor of the boat here. So basically, without me running my mouth too much, we're just gonna get all this stuff set up. I'll get you guys up on a tripod. I can't speak. We'll throw you on a time lapse just to make my life a bit easier, and we're just gonna go to town. Jack's already started helping me knock down some of the fiberglass along the tank mount right there, whatever you guys want to call that, the area where the tank gets mounted. And we have to follow up on the other side. And from there, we can start mixing up some resin and getting these stringers dropped into the boat. I did a test fit. Can't speak this morning, guys. Did a test fit this past week. I cut the floors out, got them in position, got the stringers knocked in, the cuddy step and the bulkhead, and I had it all mocked up. And just sent a couple screws in there. I'll throw a photo in so you guys can see that. And I've also cut one area short where we're gonna put a little cuddy. It'll be right there, right before, or right as the seat for the engine and all the engine cover components. Be like a life jacket holder or something, rope holder, just something where I can put some of my material in there without having to stuff it in the cuddy or, in the area that we're working. But let me shut my mouth. Let's get this camera fired up and let's get to work. Alrighty, guys, we got everything all ground up around the areas where we're going to be applying our epoxy. Got all the areas cleaned up here where the stringers will be going. So we're gonna go ahead and start mixing up some epoxy. He's gonna show me how to do the proper mix so that way we can go ahead and putty these guys in there and then screw them down and get them in place. Alrighty, guys, we have gotten multiple layers of glass all laid in there. We made our putty mix that's down below the board to set down and glue it in there. You guys can see it kind of squeezing out back there. So we got one side done. Jack's currently cutting up some of the existing 10-ounce that we have, and we're gonna start prepping up this side to get the other stringer in. I apologize that it's gonna be a lot of time lapsing. I know that it's kind of boring to watch, but it's way easier for us because we have the gloves on and off and we have all this resin and it's just a mess. So, but we're making some progress. Once we get both stringers in, we're gonna let them kick off, harden up, and when that's said and done, we can get the cuddy step in there, and then we'll glass in on the cuddy step on the front side and the back side. Obviously, mix up our putty for the center here, push it in, and then we'll glass all along the cuddy once the step's in there and we're done with the stringer. So, all right, guys, enough of me talking. I got to mix up a batch and get this other one in. Alrighty, folks, we just got back from lunch. We've let the stringers kind of kick off and do their thing. Jack's actually gone out of here. He's went off to work. He's got another full-time job that he does, and he was kind enough to take off this morning to help me with this stuff. But before I show you guys that, I wanted to make one thing clear. I want to apologize for my terminology when it comes to fiberglass work because I'm not a fiberglass guy. This is all new to me, and thankfully Jack has been able to give me a hand. But the two-part epoxy that we use here, the resin and the hardener, is for when you're just glassing in, you know, your traditional fiberglass, like what I've done in the first few videos. Like here's my bulkhead board and my cutty step board. I just used the two-part for that. But Jack showed me when you make the two-part mix and you add the fumed silica and the milled fiber, you create something called cab-o-sil, and that's the quote-unquote putty that I was using. And I'm sorry for not calling it that in the video because, I don't know, I didn't know the terminology. Jack kept saying it, and then I was like, is that what it's actually called, dude? And he's like, yeah, come on, man. Put two and two together. So, you know, I'm not the brightest. I have a freaking brain like a fish. So anyways, guys, here are the stringers. They are in there. Man, it feels so good to finally have some wood inside of this boat. And not only just wood, but it's glassed in wood. All glassed in. Same thing over here on this side. And then he applied the cab-o-sil real heavy, so that way, like I showed you guys earlier, it's squeezing out all through here, squeezing out all through here, all along there. And then came back behind it, did some cab-o-sil in there, all along there. Same thing back there. He went in there and went heavy with it. And then we lay down some 10-ounce sheet here. And voila, we have some stringers. So I am so excited, guys. Like, this is a real big deal. I've been trying to get to this point just because, you know, all of that teardown work, and you get to a certain point and you're like, okay, well, now I kind of feel like I'm stagnant because, you know, I'm not moving forward or doing anything. And getting these guys glassed in, you know, cut down, glassed over, and then in the boat made me feel just, woohoo, we're finally getting somewhere. So now I've got to turn my attention to getting this side of the bilge out. I got to cut that guy out. We'll tab in new wood there, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'll probably bring this back just a little bit. All of this floor is still hard. I was going to replace this floor, but I mean, this stuff is still hard as a rock. And this is where the engine hatch is going to be. So I eventually plan on putting a board right through here, and then there'll be a bench seat right here. And then where I'm actually standing with this platform, there'll be a sun deck right here. So all of this will be covered up. These guys, this part here and this part here, won't be getting a ton of moisture. And then obviously I have this boat cover here for when the boat is sitting and it's not in use. But all of this structure, that needed to be replaced because it was really soft all along here, if you guys don't remember that. And that's kind of where we're at right now. So we're letting this stuff kick off, do its thing. I've got to get into the shop and do some work. I have 2 CAD drawings that I need to knock out. And then the next thing, I don't know if I'm going to do it in this video. I'm probably just going to go ahead and upload this as is. But we have a crack here, a crack here, and a crack here. So Jack's going to come back sometime this week. He's going to show me how to properly dish that out, bevel it, cab-o-sil it, and then layer it up with fiberglass and repair those properly. So that'll be the next thing on the agenda. And then from there, once those guys are done and these guys are all kicked off and good and ready to rock and roll, then I can take the steps that I showed you guys. They're right over there earlier. I can take those guys and then get the bulkhead in, the cutty step in, get that screwed in. We can glass that stuff in and then keep on moving forward. After that, we're gonna get some 2x4s, mount them on either side of here, so that way the floor has something to rest on. And then I'll be doing a pedestal similar to like this right here. This will be my pedestal. The board will sit here, obviously sit across. It'll butt up flush against here, and then we'll be cab-o-siling that and then laying glass over both sides. So that's the game plan for that, guys. We've got a lot of work ahead of us, but I did want to film this and show you guys the progress of the stringers going in. And you know, we're I wouldn't say we're halfway there. We're probably about quarter of the way there. After all that stuff gets done, then we have to focus on rebuilding a tank and all that jazz. But I'm real excited, guys, real excited. Well, that's all that I have for you guys for the formula today. I'm going to go ahead and let the resin and all that jazz kick off, do its thing, harden up, and when that's all dry, I will update you guys on that, so that way we can start working on both those bilge sides, cutting those guys out and replacing that rotten wood in those 2 corners there, and then getting new wood tabbed in, screwed in. We'll glass all that jazz over. Do basically the same thing with the bilge ends or the bilge sides. And from there, it's just basically repeating that same process until we are ready to get those 2x4s in. And like I said, I've got those I think I might have showed you guys in the last upload, but I've got the pressure treated marine grade 2x4s right there. So those guys will be going in and then we can lay all the floor pieces on. I've got the one floor piece here. That's the short one that'll have the little cubby in it, and then that's my starboard side one there. That's the long one. So that is that, guys. Keep you guys in the loop for the formula, and then obviously the 87 Comanche. Be on the lookout for a couple uploads for that. We're going to try to get that thing running and driving here within the next week or two, because we're just really intrigued to see what it'll end up doing. I don't know if it'll need a transmission or if the motor's good. We don't know much about it, but we're hoping to get it you know, up and running and saving it. And speaking of Jeeps, I don't think I've showed you guys or talked to you guys much about the little blue Cherokee. I know it's been on and off the channel, and I was going to 4BT swap it. The plans have changed. I probably won't 4B swap it because it is such a gem. It's just so original and unmolested, and I've already kind of ruined that because I swapped the axles out from underneath it because I was going to 4-wheel drive swap it. I still am, but I don't know. I should have just left it with the little 8 1/4 with the 410s, and then found a Dana 30 with 410s and then done that swap. But if you guys are interested in seeing a video of that or me just going over it, please comment, let me know about it, because I really haven't talked about it much. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate every single one of you guys. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, drop a like, shoot, jump on the channel. We've got tons of playlists, tons of uploads. We've been you know, on the YouTube game for a few years now, so there's lots of videos and content for you guys to check out. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a good week. I will see you guys in the next upload. Later.